Devontae Tank Davis. Let Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney know y'all ain't built like that, bro. Damn, David. Still a huge fan of David Benavidez, and I understand the predicament and the position that he's in, but it sucks, bro, that he had to take this Anthony Yarde fight this way, and that Turkey's playing games with that boy career like that. All because David want to build his brand in America. All because David wants to be a star. All because he want to fight the best, bro, and he don't want to bend his knees to do it. Turkey played games with this boy's career, played dirty-ass games, and got him to bend his knee, bro. And I hate that he had to do it, but it's the only way he could get a fight, bro. Let's talk about it. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video. We live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at 7:30. I'm also live Sunday mornings with the Singing OG, KQKC Boxing Network. Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Let's talk about how this David Benavidez Anthony Yarde fight came to fruition. And then I'm gonna tell y'all the problems I got with it. And I'll tell y'all what I like about it, as I always do, bro. But first, in order to understand where I'm coming from, listen to what Eddie Hearn said about David Benavidez and Callum Smith negotiations, and how the Anthony Yarde fight came to fruition. Take a listen, bro.
Anthony Yarde, November Riyadh season. Now, we weren't told that talks for a fight between David Benavidez and Callum were particularly advanced, but it did seem that was more likely, certainly in the public eye. From your point of view, why is it Anthony Yarde, not Callum Smith?
We couldn't get a deal over the line for Callum Smith. We've been trying to get a deal over the line to do the fight in the US. We couldn't get to the number that Callum was happy with. Then you've got to understand the position that Callum Smith's in. He's the WBO interim world champion. He's going to get called as the mandatory challenger, may even get to a position where that is an elevation to world championship. And then all of a sudden, 48 hours ago, we spoke to Turki and Louis de Cubas trying to make the Callum Smith-Benavidez fight. And we couldn't find the number. So Yarde took the number, took the fight, and he's got it. And it was a very quick turnaround, probably the last 48 hours, really. The fight got made out of nowhere.
So Eddie Hearn just told you that David Benavidez was trying everything he could. Him and his team were trying to give Callum Smith a title shot, bro. Here in America, where David Benavidez fans can watch the fight, where we could have fight parties, where he can continue to grow his brand, grow his market, and put on big fights in America. But magically, the fight couldn't get done. And so Turkey offers Callum Smith some money to fight David Benavidez, and he too, for some reason, can't get Callum Smith to get in the ring with David Benavidez. And the explanation that Eddie Hearn gave was Callum Smith wouldn't take the number, but Anthony Yarde would take the number. My first question is, if Turkey really wanted to make that fight, why didn't he just give Callum Smith the money that he was looking for? He didn't want to make that fight. He got all this $1 trillion oil money, right? He got all of this gazillion dollars, right? He didn't want to make that fight. And he didn't want to make that fight because he didn't want David Benavidez to have another chip. He didn't want him to have the WBC title, then also be the WBO mandatory. And be in an even better position to make sure the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol has to fight him. It was a bait and switch, because Eddie Hearn is the same damn promoter of Dimitri Bivol, where Turkey wanted to make Bivol versus Benavidez, but when Benavidez wouldn't sign to him to fight on that damn undercard because he didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia, Turkey no longer wanted to fight. And he basically threatened Bivol, if you know what's good for you, you're going to make this Beterbiev rematch. And what did Bivol and Eddie Hearn end up doing? They end up fighting better beef. Well, same promoter, Eddie Hearn, couldn't get the fight done with Callum Smith magically, And Callum Smith wouldn't even fight David Benavidez in Saudi Arabia, but Anthony Yarde would. This is bullshit, bro. These are dirty, underhanded tactics for Turkey to get his way, bro. For him to get his way, which is to bottom out the American market and have all our stars not being stars here no more, and they have no place to go but to over there to get a goddamn fight, bro. And some of y'all can't see it and don't care because you're so starved for a good fight, you don't care how you get them, even if you know it could mean the end of the sport of boxing. And the sport could end up dying here in America. You don't care. At least I'm getting the fights. Clear bait and switch. Clear, nasty, underhanded, bullshit ass move, bro. And now, David Benavidez is fighting Anthony Yarde. And if he beats Anthony Yarde, Turkey has another card he can pull. Because maybe Benavidez can get the winner of Bivol and better be. Maybe. Or just maybe, magically, if Bivol wins, they order Bivol to defend his WBO mandatory. And that'll be a mandatory that Bivol will defend. But he wouldn't defend his WBC mandatory when it was David Benavidez. Watch what I tell you, bro. I hope that David Benavidez with Al Heyman, right? PBC, I hope he was smart enough to agree that if I fight on Anthony Yarde on your card, I get the winner better be Bivol no matter who it is. And I hope he was able to get that in writing, bro. Because they are trying to box him out. They are trying to block him. Because they know once he gets those belts, once he becomes unified or once he becomes undisputed, and he takes them back to Premier Boxing Champions, then everything has to run through him. And they are fighting like hell not to do it because they don't think none of them boys can beat him, bro. But this is the shit that y'all like. We about to get a fire-ass card. Fire-ass card in November. A card with Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. on it. A card with David Benavidez on it. And that bitch is going to be on in November during football season probably on a Saturday afternoon, bro. It does nothing to help the sport of boxing here in America. Trash, bro. Absolute trash. And some of y'all are going to be like, oh, I love this fight, KO. I don't care where they fight. As long as they fight, that's because you don't make content. You don't buy fights. You don't go to fights. You don't care about what the sport looks like here in America 10, 15, 20 years from now. I do, because this shit my life. I care. Because I plan to cover this sport. I plan to analyze this sport until I can't no more, bro. And this shit is all bad. You'll put Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez and Ryan Garcia versus Roger Romero in the middle of the goddamn street in New York City. But your best cards, the ones that's the best, the ones that could get the most attention, you always find a way to put them bitches in Saudi Arabia. The only reason Canelo and Crawford is in America is because Canelo has some form of leverage and he's a big mega superstar. The rest of these dudes ain't big mega superstars, so they got to fight where the hell he tell them to fight, bro. It's always has been, it always will be, and it currently still is about pushing the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's agenda forward when it comes to Turkey, bro. You know how crazy this card would be with Haney and Norman fighting and Benavidez on if they put that bitch in Vegas. Then all the brothers coming, all the Mexicans coming to support David Benavidez. That card go crazy, bro. Crazy. That ain't his MO though. He want Benavidez for as many fights as he can get him. So watch what I tell you, bro. He gonna end up, if Better Be win, that may be his best shot to try to get undisputed, bro. Because if Better Be win, Callum Smith already got his ass crumbled by Better Be, bro. And so maybe Benavidez and Better Be makes more sense. But if Bivol wins, I suspect magically the WBO mandatory will get ordered. And then everybody that was saying, well, no, Bivol got to fight the trilogy. Why would David Benavidez get this mandatory shot? He should have just waited. He should have just took the opportunity. He should have just fought Callum Smith. That Callum Smith fight was never real because they were offering David Benavidez a fighter that didn't even never want to fight him, bro. Y'all was talking all this shit. Oh, David turned down Callum. David turned down Callum. Did Callum really sign? And if he did sign, was the number not good enough anymore? And if Turkey got all this money and that was the first option and that's the fight he wanted to make, Why didn't he just give Callum what he was asking for? That's a bigger fight. Callum Smith is a bigger name than Anthony Yarde, former world champion. Makes the Benavidez getting a winner better be Bivol even a better fight and even a more realistic fight, because Benavidez is a champion and a mandatory in another sanctioning body at the same time. But that was never the goal, bro. The goal was to try to hurt Premier Boxing Champions, put them in a position where they can't get a good fight for David Benavidez here in America, and make him have to go across seas. Y'all said that he should have took the Saudi deal to fight in goddamn Saudi Arabia. Well, why didn't Callum Smith take it? Why didn't he take it? Turkey has a habit of offering people fights without the other party even being signed. So he was trying to get David Benavidez over there under the guise of a Callum Smith fight when Callum Smith had never agreed to fight him. Just like he did with Team Alifu and Jerome Boutinnis, bro. Just like he did with Devin Haney and goddamn Team Alifu. He's offering these fights, telling you he wants these fights, telling you I was going to do this, I was going to do that, and the other side ain't even agreed to it. Callum Smith ducked that man in America and Saudi Arabia. But he was going to fight him earlier this year, though. Get the fuck out of here, bro. This shit's trash, bro. Only thing good about this fight is that it's a good fight. The implications of it, the way it's being done, the underhanded way to get there, and the plans that this man has to try to make people bend their knee and be subservient to him, bro, I'm not rocking with it. I'll never rock with it, and I stay on that. I stay right here standing 10 toes down on that. Y'all go ahead and pull the wool over your eyes, close your eyes, do all that shit if you want to, bro. He did David Benavidez wrong, bro. And I wish David would have kept his word, bro, and say, you know, he said, I want to fight in front of my American fans. This is what I want to do. I'm not trying to go to Saudi Arabia. I want to build myself. I wish he would have kept his word, bro. Still one of my favorites. I hate that he doing this shit, bro. I really do. Because it's going to hurt him in the long run, bro. He going to have to build himself back up. He went from like 40,000 pay-per-view buys with Demetrius Andrade, 150 with David Morrell, where the crowd was packed, momentum just going crazy. And then when he tried to get a fight with somebody else, it stalled out. Niggas don't want title shot opportunities no more. They wait. Eddie Hearn said Callum Smith is waiting to get elevated, bro. You know, Callum Smith is in the position, you know, he's going to get called as a mandatory, and he could even get elevated. He could get a title shot right now, and he won't take it in U.S. or Saudi Arabia, bro. Crazy, bro. Crazy. And Turkey got all this money, and he can make all these fights that he want to make, and he got an unlimited amount of money. How come Callum Smith just couldn't name his number? You ain't had no budget with Devin Haney and Team Alifu. You apparently offered $11 million to Team Alifu. But you can offer Callum whatever the hell he needed, so David Benavidez could be a step closer to getting a fight with Better Be or Bivol, bro. Because he don't want that fight. He don't want that fight, bro. They want to continue to, Better Be versus Bivol. Callum Smith versus the winner. Let's get Joshua Buatsi involved. That's all that. Bro, it's maddening, dog. It is upsetting to watch yet another young, bright star that's building itself here in America get pulled away from us because this dictator wants to have everything under him. And now David has to fight over there or he's not going to get any opportunities, bro. And then y'all will clown him if he fights a lesser opponent. If he fights somebody that maybe don't deserve a title shot. The only way he can get good fights is by doing shit like this, bro. And I hate it for him. I hope he whoop Anthony Yarde ass. I hope he get the Bivol Beterbiev winner, whoop their ass, and come on back home with it, bro. Because they playing with his career, bro. Trash. Y'all go ahead and be excited about all our biggest stars, you know, fighting in Saudi Arabia. Y'all get excited about that. Or when our stars fight here in America, they throw them on the goddamn undercard and put people over here as the main event that ain't never fucking fought over here before. Y'all go ahead and get excited for shit like that, bro. All because you think you're getting some good fights. Fucking trash. And if we being real, we saying it's a good fight out of respect for Anthony Yarde, But Anthony Yarde got to punch his chance, bro. Otherwise, he getting beat the hell up. And y'all all know it, bro. Y'all all know it, fam. He got to punch his chance, bro. He can catch Benavidez with something hot and then hopefully finish him. Other than that, he getting beat the hell up, bro. Badly. And y'all all know it. That lack of defense, that fake shoulder roll. Easy to hit. The brutal war he been through with goddamn Benavidez. The tough fights with Lyndon Arthur. He about to get in there with David Benavidez and get fucking beat up, bro. This ain't even really a good fight if we being real. Y'all, some of y'all just know Anthony Yarde's name. So you calling it a good fight. And you know I'm right, bro. You know I'm right. He got to go over there to fight somebody that's got a goddamn snowball's chance in hell of beating him. Because the dudes that's got the name, the dudes that can put him in position to really go for glory, they all scared of him. From Canelo to Bivol, all of them. The only one I think of getting in that ring with him is Benavidez, bro. The rest of them running, ducking, and hiding, bro. And they doing it because they scared, and they doing it at the behest of Turki because he paying them money, giving them all this money for these fights. And so they being loyal to him because he want David Benavidez over there. Because he tired of Al Heyman kicking his damn ass all goddamn year. That's what's going on here, bro. Smash the like. I'm pissed off. Gervonta Tank Davis. Let Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney know y'all ain't built like that.